all kinds of skills at mealtime with the family, but you may have never considered that holding your fork or spoon could be an important one.
So it turns out that it is for your kids, and that's what we're talking about with Red Door Pediatric Therapy. Kellie Kvislen is joining us. Good morning to you, Kellie.
Good morning.
Good
Hello.
morning. Okay, so we're talking about forks, knives, and everything there, eating utensils. So tell us why it's important to start our children out using these utensils.
So these utensils are important because it's a typical progression of those developmental skills for self-feeding. It's also important to practice using the correct grasp pattern because you use the same grasp pattern for writing. So it kind of reinforces those writing skills as well.
Okay, I can definitely see how the two relate to each other. Okay, so as we have babies and they're starting to be introduced to solid foods, you're probably just going with finger foods, but there are different stages that we'll get eventually to holding fork or knife or spoon correctly. So tell us about what we can expect with those age ranges.
Sure. So around 6 to 7 months is when those kiddos start feeding themselves using their hands. So soon after this age, you can start modeling utensil use for those kiddos. So around 1 to 2 years of age, kiddos typically use what's called a fisted grasp. So kind of just holding the fork like this. And by 2 to 3, we have more of a downward grasp pattern that's a little bit more efficient. By 2 to 3, kiddos should be pretty good at using spoons and forks. And then by ages 3 to 4, we should use what's called a tripod grasp pattern, which is the same grasp pattern that you use on a writing utensil.
Okay, does it matter at all if it's a fork, knife, or a spoon? Does that change in some of the grasps?
Up until about 4, we'll be using spoons and forks. And then once you get to 5 and 6 is when you'll start using a knife. And a knife is kind of the same grasp pattern as that as well.
Okay, I'm catching myself, I'm policing myself, watching you demonstrate this. I have a 3-year-old and she definitely holds it like you demonstrated for maybe a 1-year-old. Are there some things I could do to help her adjust that grasp?
For sure, definitely that modeling. For some kiddos, if you have kid utensils that have a built-up handle or it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit easier to hang on to using the correct grasp patterns. Or you can have handles that are a little bit bent to kind of help increase that success with bringing food to mouth. So it's a little bit less frustrating, so we're a little bit more motivated to use the correct grasp pattern when we're eating.
Okay, and I notice you are using a metal fork and spoon and knife right there, but are there different ones, like a plastic one that you can use, or like you said, the angle too, that matters?
Yep, for sure. The material definitely makes a difference. And for little kiddos, you want to use more silicone or plastic ones so we don't accidentally bump our teeth or anything like that. And then motivating utensils are also super great. So anything that is themed or favorite colors or animals, kind of like this little dinosaur spoon.
Love them.
Yes. You know, this is interesting. I never considered those types of, different utensils when I'm looking for what to buy for my family. I just thought, what's going to get food on the fork and going to keep it there, but helping them with the whole progression of this is a great way to pick what you're going to use. So we can also choose plates and bowls for our family based on how it's going to help this whole process. What do you recommend there?
Yeah, so it's all about increasing or decreasing that frustration so that we have more success with self-feeding. So for plates and bowls, you can use plates or bowls that have suction cups on the bottom or silicone non-slip mats underneath. And some plates and bowls come with like a plate guard, so that when you're scooping, it kind of increases the height of that wall so that the food stays on the utensil, so that we're successful when we're eating it.
I thought it was just for separating food. I'm learning so much from this. Okay.
Okay. Now, we went through the metal ones.
Yeah.
You have a little dinosaur spoon going on. Now, will a kid learn a little bit better, or your child learn better if it's that cute shape, or, pick their favorite cup, or, yeah.
Everyone learns better when they're motivated.
Yeah.
So if it's motivating to the kiddo, they're going to be wanting to use it, wanting to try to use it much more than if it was something boring.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then we can practice this outside of mealtime as well, just during playtime throughout the day. What are some ways that we can help promote these developments?
Sure. Some great ways to use spoons and forks in play are in things like sandboxes, for bath time, scooping water, using Play-Doh, cutting and poking with forks, pretend play, so feeding dolls, using that scooping. And then you as a parent just modeling those desired behaviors. So modeling, poking, scooping, instead of using our fingers.
Okay. That was going to be my next thing. Will a kid learn if I'm, if they're watching me how to scoop some food in my mouth? I guess that's also a good model to kind of overtake.
Yeah, and kids learn from imitation. They learn from watching all of the grown-ups. So modeling is one of the best things.
Yeah,
perfect.
Okay. Great idea. I mean, this is going to give me something to work on over the weekend. This is something you're doing every single day, all throughout the day. So great thing to be watching for with your kids. Yes. If we have more questions for Red Door Pediatric Therapy, if we want to reach out to you guys, where do we find you?
Sure, you can reach out at our main number at 701-222-3175.
Okay, right. Kellie Kvislen, thank you so much. We appreciate it today.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Stay with us. North Dakota Today continues right after this.